to pay attention to this section, because I've just been at a conference and this is what they gave us at the conference, to be organised, which I thought was pretty good, and I could stick all the cards in of the people that I met, and I found that actually quite helpful. I thought, oh, that's actually quite helpful. But it's superseded in my house by this, which is my diary, and I just keep in here and I just keep myself organised. So I want to scale. So for example, this weekend I'm doing 50 people who are cooking in a room. So there's a little bit of planning involved in that. So Bosco thought it might be good to share that. So I'm going to start at the beginning. I would be talking about wipes, kitchen towels, tea towels.
Yeah.
So I've listed those for you. So you could use this as a checklist if you were organising. Okay, I just do this all the time because I do things on such a big scale. But I equally do it when I'm just doing a little job. It's exactly the same, it's just on a different scale. So I always just hone it down to those things, the consumables. And the consumables, you can keep all of those in a box. You can keep your tissue, because I have to sometimes go to an empty room and fit it out like a kitchen. So for me, I have to think that through. So there is a list, I think some of you will have had it emailed, but you could use this as your checklist. Or you can go through the process. These are just checklists to pop in your folder. You can go through the process that I'm going to show you now. So, oh, did I not give you one? Oh, okay. So that I know, but actually there's something quite satisfying about that. So I've got that to one side. So what I thought we could do is I'm going to put on my You Can Cook apron. I have my wipes. So I'm going to do a bit of an OTT. Okay, I'm going to accentuate this obviously because we're talking drama here. Self-conscious, but you realise that actually for them, that's their preparation in the way that you're doing. It's quite interesting. Sometimes they're a little nervous to come in at that point, and that's really sweet. And actually, you know, you can embrace that. But you will be. It is quite interesting. They think, oh, it's going to start. You're going to do something. And if you're not quite ready, you need to start fiddling with things and making a noise. I know that sounds pathetic, but I'm just doing this back. Yeah. This is perfect.
Mattering about
and they'll hear a little tap or a noise, or just make a noise. And certainly make a noise if you want to get their attention. When they're too restless and it's time to start, then that, because this thing is such a pain to wash. But I sometimes use the middle bit. So for me, I'm a cheat. I take this, and sometimes, if I can get it out, oh yes I can, get it out, I will take that and I could just do that with it, yes? So I can just make my juice with that, which is rather nice. But of course you'll all know that orange is famous from Spain, South America, also in Mexico, and one of the things that I did a while ago while I was okay, so in that presentation, which is pretty much how I ramble when I'm working, is anecdotal, noise, smell, lots of touch. Yes, lots and lots of touch. At this point, say we did the tasting. So let's take the orange out now, and I might say I want to speak to them and get a taste. I think I brought some little. I don't know how many we've got here, but okay, so I might pour out the juice like this, and I might want to give them a fact, and I'll say something that's got pips in it, never mind. Orange juice is really rich in vitamin C. It's so good for you, for your skin. It's just the perfect food to keep your skin healthy. You know, you see what I'm saying? So I'm getting them to remember that consuming the green, this one's really very ripe, it's soft, and the skin is really, it's a little bit tough. You could eat the skin, but I wouldn't particularly recommend it. But you can feel that the mango is ripe because you can see, look, it's just giving away a little bit. Inside the mango, it's a bit like a rugby ball, isn't it? A bit like a rugby ball. We could have it as a Borders fruit. Is a huge stone. It's a flat stone that runs the length of the mango. So what I'm going to do is take my sharp knife. I won't go over the stuff about the sharp knife, but I'm going to take a sharp knife and I'm going to go down one side of that flat stone, and I'm going to turn it round, and I'm going to go around the other side of that flat stone. Okay, it's just the simplest way to prepare a mango. Then I'm going to take the mango and my sharp knife, and I'm just going to score it. I'm going to go down to the skin, but I'm not going to go through it. Okay, I'm going to go down to the skin, I'm not going to go through it. Then I'm going to go in the other direction. I'm just going to crisscross it. Same thing. Down to it. And then, quite simply, I'm going to push his bottom. And there's
It's a hedgehog.
Okay. Would anybody like to...
Has anyone ever done it?
I've got.
Thank you.
Have you never
Anybody
done
like to
that?
eat some mango?
It's the mango hedgehog. Have you done it?
Yeah, I cut it like that.
So there's our mango.
And then you can just cut it off.
And then you just cut
Yeah.
it off. Where did I just put it there?
No, you bite it off.
Yeah, you bite it off. The children love
Or
biting
do you
it off.
have like half a
Mango.
mango each then in your house?
That's a
Possible,
luxury.
yeah.
That's a luxury.
Possible.
No,
I'm willing to
okay.
eat it.
Easiest way to cut it today. It's lovely and shiny. That's the first thing when you go and buy your pepper. When you see it's lovely and shiny. Lots of people chop the ends off here, and I can't bear it because they waste so much of it, and you can't do that. So I'm going to show you a really easy way. You just take it upside down. Upside down. I can do aerial, and you have that going all the way down to the green part. Can you all see that? And then you just break it off, and that's all you're going to waste. Nothing, unless you want to eat that bit. Okay, and then you can continue to cut it up, eat it raw. I think hand some out to anybody around you whilst you're cooking it. It's really delicious. Who could say no to that? And you'll love it, and then you can get on with the recipe. But eating it raw is probably quite good. Now you all want it. Look at that, that's absolutely fine. Have I missed somebody out? Okay?
You did.
There you go.
That is going to perform for you in the spring when there's that sort of lack of anything else. The parsley seems to cope with anything. It coped with snow and ice and all sorts of things for us this winter. At the same time, we've rescued our mint. That didn't do very well through the winter, but it's coming on fine in the polytunnel at the moment. So you're starting to get a sort of seasonal picture here, which is that has survived and has come in first. The mint is just starting to take off, so there seems to be some relationship with a slightly later part of spring. And then if you look at the basil, our basil seedlings are about that high, and I started those off in our potting shed. These are only going to come in as part of our recipes really when our tomatoes are ripe. And there's a relationship there somehow between that time of the year and that herb as well. So it's almost the herbs sort of mapping out the season for you, and the way you might change your cooking if you're working from ingredients in your garden, and ingredients that are linked to local produce.
This is the one we all wanted to pick up and handle. And we do it in the supermarket. And we go in and we think, and we pack that up. We have no idea what it is. We have no idea what to do with it, but we cannot resist buying 2 for 1. We buy 2 of them. And we get them home and we put them in the fridge and they rot. And we throw them away. So today, we're not going to use it all because there's 2 bits to this. There's this bit and there's this bit. And in here, there's all these seeds. So if you cut this and you get this bit, you've got to carve all the seeds out of it. We haven't got time for that. We've only got about 20 seconds left. So we're just going to use the neck. Okay, this is the neck. You might want to call it the shaft, or you might want to this is whatever. So we're just going to cut it through here. And the other thing you might think, just stand there. Look at that colour.
Beautiful.
Now, colour of sunrise. So this is what we're going to cook today, and we're going to cook this bit because that bit's got all the gubbins in it. So we'll keep that for another day, and that will keep nicely in your fridge. Put a bit of foil over that, and then it won't dry up and go all unpleasant, and it won't go mouldy. This one, you don't have to peel this if you're going to cook it the way we're going to cook it today. Just nip the end off, cut it down the middle, like that. And then you can cut it through in half again like that. And then it's very easy to cut into same size chunks, which we're then going to fry in the oil that we've got heating up with the water. And I'm going to fry the whole thing, peel and all, because that will soften down, and then when you're eating the dish with the other ingredients in it, you can leave the peel out, or you can just chew your way through it. It's quite tasty. It's pretty tough like that.
I'm going to stop them.
Leaves. The fresh mint leaves smell absolutely fabulous. Now I like to put mint in my tea. Now I'm going to put some mint in some hot water here and just let it, just if you can pass it around, you can smell that. Now I use mint for things like putting it even in drinks like cold drinks. Those of you who like vodka, mojitos are really good with this. Yeah. And I think, oh God, what am I going to say?
Fiddle.
Will I fiddle? No, I can't fiddle. I can't even quite fiddle. And I also, oh God, 2 seconds.
It makes you sneeze.
Yeah, I know, my nose was running. Because I was laughing too much. What was it? Go
You
back.
talk about the
Vodka.
mojito.
The mojito, for those who like to go out, you like to try mojito, vodka. This would be really good. And mint actually grows really wild if you plant it in the garden. Like you probably have a garden, you find it goes everywhere. And you know, that's it. Talk about mint. That's it.
This. It's a hell of a weight, and it's also quite prickly. And there's. What does it remind you of?
Pineapple.
Apart from pineapple. It's very like, well, it's very like a grenade.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Do you know
There
what-
is some,
do you
in
know
some
that
language, I think there's
in the
something.
Caribbean, there are the women that they wear
wearing the hat.
those hats, yeah.
So you've got to treat it with a bit of respect. But what I tend to do, and I'm just sort of making this up as I go along, so I don't really know too much about it, but I just grab this end and slice it down there. The danger with pineapples is cutting them too thin. You've got to do them nice and chunky. So get a nice inch and a half or so. That's your slice. And then you just go down like that and then round. Keeping pretty close to the edge. And it should work. Yep, there it is. Get it out. And you could go round here like this, but that would take a long time. You'd probably cut your fingers off. So I just go horizontally, like so. And there we are.
Very entertaining. It was entertaining.
We can eat that.
I'm not
I'm lucky to try a piece.
Thank you very much.
That's very good, actually.
Have a
Yeah.
piece of
have a
pineapple.
big piece.
And the way you've done it is actually the way you've done it. It keeps it. You don't wasting a lot. You're not wasting
Well,
excess.
air miles and that, you want to use every little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry about that.
I just thought I left them too long and I put them.
Yeah, that's right. People, they do last a long time.
Okay, so feeding boring, I know, but I think people really wanted to perhaps think about ways of improving their organisation. But at the end of the evening, what I want to do is draw all of that together and say, you know, what is it that really captures us when we're listening to a speaker that inspires us? You know, who do we know who inspires us? And just before I came out, I did the little exercise I'm going to do with the children and my husband.